So in this week's video, I'm going to talk about preparing for Songkran 2024. If you love Songkran like I do, what do you need to do? Songkran is the #1 festival in the whole of Thailand. And I mean, I've got to be honest with you, the best thing that you can do during Songkran, the best advice that I've got is like stay in your room for 2 whole weeks and just avoid the whole thing because it's chaos out there. But what I wanted to do with Songkran coming up really quickly now is share with you my ideas for how to prepare for Songkran. Honestly, the best preparation you can do is get yourself down Big C and get 2 weeks worth of takeaway microwavable food and just like stick it in your freezer, stick it in your fridge and just don't go out. That's the best thing you can do. The first thing I'm going to say is make sure you get there in time because in a sense, there's nothing worse than coming in halfway through the party. Try and arrive at your destination before the party starts and you'll get in the party mood really quickly with everyone else. Actually, the best entertainment you can have during Songkran is make sure you've got your Netflix up to date because you're going to be watching a lot of Netflix films over that 10-day or 2-week period, however long it lasts. And just while I'm talking about arriving early, make sure you do book up your hotels because they're saying now as I record this 2 weeks before the start of Songkran, in the most popular places, 80% of the hotels are already booked up. Amazing. And really be ready to spend a little bit more because prices will go up at Songkran. You just need to be ready for that. It's part and parcel of enjoying one of the biggest festivals in the world. One other thing you could do, you could do something useful. You could like learn a language or you could like write your memoirs or just like paint your condo or your room or something. That would be good. And you will see I have this rather beautiful shirt that I'm wearing as well. They're Songkran traditional shirts, they're bright and they do look a bit strange the first time you see them, but it's all part of the fun. But what I would say about the clothes is that when I spend all day soaking wet from the water in a shirt like this, it's a little bit heavy and it does feel a little bit damp after a bit, even in the hot weather that you get in Thailand in the month of April. So, I mean, really, let's be honest, the best thing that you could do to celebrate Songkran in Thailand is fly to another country where they don't celebrate it because like all of Thailand is completely crazy, especially like Pattaya and places like that. It's nuts. Think about, let's see what we got here. Think about clothes that are made of quick drying material like this. You know what though, if you did want to stay in Thailand and you couldn't get away because all the flights are already booked up, go to Bangkok. It's one of the few times when you can drive around Bangkok and the roads aren't full of traffic and you don't sit for hours in a traffic jam because like all of the Thai people have gone home to see their family. That's about one good thing you can say about it. Oh, and the road number 7, the motorways and all that, you can go through them, they're free because nobody wants to work at Songkran time, do they? Now, the other thing that you need to do before Songkran is make sure you've got all the right equipment. Well, you need a gun, that's the first thing that you need. You definitely need a gun, okay, when you're getting ready for Songkran. Probably a bigger one than this. The bigger the water tank, the more you've got water in there and the less often you have to go and fill it, which is one of the main hassles of Songkran. But you definitely need to be able to fight back. I mean, if you must go out, just like my best advice is avoid all the hot spots and avoid the hot times of the day for action. I mean, like, there will be some resorts that do actually have like quiet zones and like crazy zones. So maybe go to the family friendly ones if you really need to go there. Yeah, some places after 6 o'clock they're meant to stop, but then do they actually stop after 6 o'clock? You could sort of go out early morning to do some shopping because people are generally so plastered from the night before that they don't wake up till about midday. So maybe going out early morning, I don't know, if you must. What else do you need? Well, one of these is a good idea because we've all got expensive phones these days, or maybe our wallet where we want to keep our money dry. So you can pick up one of these for like 30 baht, 50 baht, 100 baht, stick in your mobile phone, make sure that's all wound down, and then you're not going to do something like I did in my very first Songkran, which was to get my mobile phone wet, and I ended up buying a new one. So make sure your valuables are protected. I mean, trying to join in, I suppose. If you went to some of the more cultural events, like some temples have some Songkran activities, some things that are advertised as being family friendly. At least that's going to be a bit better, really. But I mean, like, the last day, oh, it's just like madness. Even the fire tenders and the fire engines come out and join in. I mean, why can't they just be boring like me? If you've got lots of valuables, you can get something like this. You can get all of your possessions safely inside of this. The other thing to do is like keep your real valuable possessions in front of you. One of my good friends last year in Songkran, sadly, they did have their things in a bag, but they put it on their back. And in all the crowds that you find in Songkran, someone came up with a knife and cut out their mobile phone and took it away from them. So make sure that not only you put them in a bag, but you do keep your possessions in front of you or where you can see them. Yeah, I mean, it is true, wear protective gear. I mean, I would just go out in just like a rain mac and everything just to like be covered from head to foot. Don't wear any leather shoes or anything like that, or your best suit, because that's going to be ruined for absolutely sure. I mean, I do tell people, no, I'm not joining in, but do they listen? Do they? The other thing that you want to do is keep your eyes nice and safe. Sometimes you don't know what's in the water, so at the very least you're going to want a nice pair of sunglasses. The wraparound ones are even better. They do have the big white plastic ones that you can buy that really do keep the water out. It's not actually eye protection you need, it's ear protection you need. Bring some earplugs because the music's too loud as well, isn't it? Music. People playing music, dancing, enjoying themselves. And it's going to be hot around Songkran. It's one of the hottest months of the year in Thailand, so you might want to consider some long trousers, some long pants. But even when I wear long pants, this is a nice thin material, so it's going to be quick drying when I get wet. Well, it's also combat khaki style because I'm going to battle, I'm going to war in the Songkran water fight, so that is that. I mean, it's bad enough in those places when Songkran's just like 3 or 4 days or something, but you go to like Pattaya and they've already got it up to about a week or more. And now this year the government said 20 days or 30 days. Why not just do it every damn day of the year and then we can't go out at all? Another thing that you might want to take along is a bucket. The more traditional Songkran actually is to just put water on somebody or powder and then water gently on them. Really pour the water over the hands or something like that. That's more respectful. But having a water bucket with you means that you can just throw gently at people. I don't really like all these water-powered guns either, to be honest with you, with the high-powered water and the ice blocks that people bring round. It's not really the traditional Thai Songkran. It's not really for me. More traditional is just to take a small bucket and just sprinkle some water on anyone that you want to offer to. Oh, and there's also the idea of a garland. That's quite traditional in Thai. My one this time, especially for Songkran, is made from plastic, so even the flowers aren't going to get wet. It's going to be a great time, but still remember the rules of Songkran. We do want to be sensible about Songkran. So, for example, if you see a monk, monks are very revered in Thailand. They're very high up. And it's not fun to be throwing water at a monk or even maybe a police officer or something like that unless they're joining in the fun. Monks completely off limits, and anyone in officialdom, be very, very careful unless they invite you to join in. The other people you should be careful with is, of course, kids. They love Songkran. But think about it, you are an adult, maybe you've joined in, had a beer or two or something like that, but be very gentle when you're dealing with children or even just smaller people than you. Remember your power, if you like, that you're quite strong, and be protective of those that are less strong than you. The other thing is, use your common sense. If you see people riding around on a motorbike, that is not a person that you want to be throwing water at, because there's so many accidents around Songkran time. People have been thrown off motorcycles and come to their death, actually. It's as serious as that. So you don't want to be throwing water at people who are riding cycles or motorcycles. And really, let's be honest, you don't want to be throwing water at people who say, no, I don't want to join in. Join in with those people who want to join in as well. But if people aren't partaking, maybe like when I used to work in Bangkok, the last thing I wanted on the way to work was someone to throw an ice cold bucket of water over my head. Trust me, if people say no, they do mean no. Anyway, that's some of my tips to enjoy your Songkran and not be so boring and just like ignore it all. Join in with the Songkran, that's my advice. But if you have any advice that you've picked up over the years during Songkran, leave me a comment down below. Prepare for Songkran, it's coming very soon. Hope you have a wonderful Thai New Year. That's what it's all about, celebrating new beginnings, a new year in Thailand. It's a time for fun, it's a time to be with your families and loved ones, and it's a time to be happy. Be happy out there and have an amazing Songkran. But for me, well, it's goodbye from me and my rather sad friend who's going to be hiding away for the next few weeks. Yeah, I'll see you next time as well, because like after Songkran I might actually be a bit happier. Can't guarantee it, but anyway, you can always see him. Look out for a new video very soon, but for me, bye for now, see you next time, bye bye.